She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy gazpacho.
Important to take a lame gorilla, okay?
Right, did you know that Arsenal died?
He's got me buzzing.
Up the toppies. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm not even gonna comment on that.
Facts.
Welcome back to Footy with the boys. That's about the most excitement you are gonna get out of this episode, because there's going to be quite a bit of talk about what happened with the U.S. men's national team this past week in the CONCACAF Nations League. Disaster for the U.S. men's national team. We thought we were going to be riding high into a fourth straight Nations League title. There was a fourth involved. Just maybe not the one we wanted. We're going to run through all that, what the team is missing, what we saw in the Panama game and the Canada game, what we feel about some of the players, Pochettino, his tactics, and I guess most importantly, where do we go from here? It's a little bit of a bonus segment. We're going to run through different countries around the world, and Pochettino says we can dominate world football. We can win a World Cup. Are we better than these teams that we'll be listing through? You guys can let us know in the comments. We'll be letting you know here on the podcast. And then, of course, we'll end on a high note. We'll be playing the wondergrid, trying to break 200. The current record is 236. We fucked up a few of our last ones. Hopefully, we do not do that here. Let's start, though, boys, with what's on the screen, the big news around the world, the UEFA Nations League final. That Nations League, I mean, maybe not as U.S.-centric, but boy, there's some talent there to pay attention to. Italy, Croatia, Denmark, and Netherlands eliminated, which means the semifinals are France versus Spain. Holy shit, what a matchup. And Germany versus Portugal. Ronaldo misses a penalty, but they end up scoring 3 goals in extra time to advance there. So they'll face off against that German side. Nick, better matchup? Certainly France versus Spain, no?
Yeah, but I'm excited for both. I think it's fair to say that pretty easily. I really like this kind of new generation that Germany's kind of cropping up. But I mean, France has kind of been the main dog. Spain kind of looks like they can take that mantle too. So yeah, definitely France-Spain game.
Mike, should Ronaldo still be starting for Portugal?
Definitely should be involved. Starting, I'm not sure. He could start, but definitely needs to be subbed at some point. He was subbed in this game. Gonzalo Ramos came on and actually scored one of those goals in extra time. That's a discussion that needs to be had. Because he needs to be involved. I think he still offers something, but the level of involvement is definitely up for discussion. All these games were crazy, though. Tons of goals. Netherlands, Spain went to extra time, and then penalties. Portugal and Denmark went to extra time. Italy almost came back against Germany. Pretty sick matchups in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, some good action there. Some bad action, though, on our main topic, the U.S. men's national team with a disaster, embarrassing performance in the Nations League. Let's start with the Panama game, which is obviously the biggest headline, semifinal versus Panama. And we lose 1-0 to Panama. 1 goal scored in this game by Panama in the 90th plus 4 minutes by Mr. Waterman, who had a pretty iconic celebration running to Thierry Henry saying, "You are my idol. You are my idol." I mean, crazy celebration, crazy moment for Panama. That was their only shot on target. But it does not matter. The U.S. fell. They lacked fire in this one. They cannot score, continually missing a finishing touch. Josh Sargent did put it in the back of the net, but Tim Weah was offside earlier. Ajiman had a couple chances, could not finish. And for the most part, guys, I mean, I thought Pochettino kind of struggled with tactics here. You put Pulisic in the center, which I already think he's just better on the wing, and that's been shown so much at the club level with AC Milan experimenting with him at the 10, and he looks so much better. He produces so much more from the wing. But when Panama is clogging up the middle of the field, and the only way to create is dribbling by people on the wing and cutting in back from that, if your only options are Musa and Weah, who weren't really that confident to be beating their men, stick Pulisic out wide. You have options for the center. We saw it in the second game with Diego Luna. You have Gio Reyna, who was mysteriously barely used in this one. Let's start with this one. We can talk about Canada next, but Mike, it's a different coach, and it's the same exact thing we're talking about that we talked about with Greg Berhalter. Maybe Greg Berhalter didn't say, well, we dominated that game like he did against Canada when we lost. But we're missing intensity again. What needs to change with this team, and how did we lose to Panama here?
I'll talk about Poch and his tactics. Don't get me wrong. I think most of this is on the players, and I want to talk about their mentality and fight, but we'll just focus on Poch right now. Starting off, I think a lot of poor decisions in the lineup. Matt Turner probably shouldn't be starting. Let's start there. Joe Scally, put him at left back. Why? He plays all year at right back. He's been playing real minutes at a pretty high level for Mönchengladbach all season. And then you put Musa at right back. Whatever. I don't get it. Pulisic in the middle. Don't understand that. Tim Weah at the left wing because he's got a dominant right eye. What kind of bullshit voodoo science is that? I don't understand it. He plays at the right wing. I mean, he's got both eyes. He's not blind in one or the other. Let's just keep it simple. Let's not overcomplicate things. Weston McKennie, not in a position that's really useful. And then playing Tessman with that double pivot instead of trying to play a more creative player like Reyna or Luna. I like the double pivot, stronger defensive midfield pairing against a tougher opponent, but against Panama, that's the wrong decision. So off the rip, we made a lot of poor decisions to start the game. And then as it progressed, he didn't identify anything. His decision to bring on Jack McGlynn, a dude who barely made the camp, who was an injury replacement.
Didn't make it. I mean,
where the fuck does that come from? And then Aguiman is the striker replacement. I get it. Josh Sargent missed a few chances, but at least he was connecting. He looked lethal. And then you brought on the dude who fluffed his lines 3 times. We could have won the game for us.
Josh Sargent looked lethal. Let's pump the brakes.
He was
should have scored, but he was putting the ball on frame. He was putting it on target.
Lethal. I mean, he had the one half chance that got blocked early, but I think lethal is a bit much.
Yeah, but then look what happened. Aguiman came on. I'm butchering his pronunciation, I'm sure, but he gets behind the line, makes a great run, strong body to hold off the defender, and then has a really tame effort. I mean, fuck, that was bad. And then the second one, he can't even get anywhere near the net when that should be buried all day. It just shows that he's not at that level. Really disappointing for Poch. And he didn't show any sort of character on the sideline in either one of the matches, especially in this one. I need a dude yelling at players or showing some sort of passion. He looked fucking checked out, which is super disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the passion. You want him screaming and lighting a fire under somebody. You want that from the players, though, Nick. And Mike talked about Poch, and certainly there's a lot to talk about his tactics. Panama sitting back. Why do you not play a Luna or a Reyna? And he said, well, I was hoping to sub them on in extra time. Why the fuck are you waiting till then? There's a lot of questions about what Poch did. But at the end of the day, it's once again, it has to be now on the players. You have 2 managers, and the same fucking thing is being said. They don't have the heart. They don't have the fire. They don't have that intensity. Where is that not connecting with this team? What do these players need to do? And what is it? Just the players don't have that passion? Is this a passionless generation?
Listen, I'm happy that you brought up the comments in the past that they don't have the fire. I think the only thing Poch did get right is after the game, he called out the team for the mentality and basically saying like you have to be willing to fight for every ball, you have to be willing to win every battle, you have to be willing to fucking fight for this shirt and for this country. You can't just show up and assume you're going to win. And I thought that was well said by Poch, even though I'm obviously paraphrasing. I think it is now time. We have reached the time to ask two really big questions about this team and about how they are perceived. Number one, all this glazing that's been going on, Jared Flaggett at the very front of it amongst all USMNT fans. All this glazing that has been going on of this generation, has it gone to their heads? Because it is now different managers. It is now a world-class manager presumptuously coming in and saying the exact same things, that these guys are not willing to put it all on the line, that these guys are assuming that they can win and believe that they don't have to work as hard. And that's even with, again, I feel like we started a pretty industrious lineup. Like Mike said, like we kind of had guys out there who are supposed to be our battlers, and maybe even at the detriment to our creativity. Well, our creativity is still ass, and no one's fighting anyways. And you saw that big time in the Panama game. Sure, were we the better team? I don't know. Maybe we possibly against Panama. That's not saying too much if we're possibly the better team that day. Okay. But at the end of the day, they got outfought just about 90 minutes. And sure, there's a couple half chances. Yeah, this striker guy needs to be finishing that ball, even though it's a solid save from the keeper of Panama. It is time that we stop just crowning this roster. And I think we kind of fell into the same trap again once we got Poch, because we thought that was a missing piece. No, the thing that is missing is actual mentality. And I think it's fair to say at this point, actual talent. Because yes, these guys can be playing for whatever club in the world. I don't give a shit. Sure, Josh Sargent can be the leading goal scorer in the championship, second division, by the way. I don't care. These guys are showing that they don't have what it takes to carry a team together as a group. And I think it's definitely fair to say we don't have legit difference makers. And maybe, Pulisic is one. I know that to be true. Okay. I don't mean to disparage him, even though he didn't look amazing either. I don't like the central role for him either. Jedi was gone. I also get that too. He's a big part of the attack. But nothing was created that game. Like, everything felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. There was no sustained pressure. There was no sustained chances created. And it's because these guys can't create chances consistently. They can get half chances. They can get through this and there. They can produce a moment of brilliance. But when it comes down to it, you can't rely on these players to consistently create enough chances to win games. And when you get one shot on goal and you're losing to that one shot, very questionable by Matt Turner, by the way, I'm sick of crowning these guys. I'm sick of the glaze tour that they've experienced for the past 8 years. It feels like this is not a good national team. It just is not. And maybe something can change, and hopefully that can improve in the next year and in the biggest World Cup in American history, it feels like. But getting out of the group stage is a pipe dream the way these past two games went.
I think getting out of the group stage, you would hope, because it is the more expanded one or expanded World Cup.
Panama.
But once again, we just lost to Panama twice in a row in major tournaments. And I think, Nick, you're kind of touching on exactly what it is. These players have all the talent. They're playing at Pulisic,
I don't even know
AC Milan, and he's been a difference maker. But everybody else, Juventus, top of the championship. You have people at like PSV doing things in the Champions League. You have Fulham, you have all these players that are at great clubs doing great things, and the talent might be there. But the mentality when it comes to a national team is gigantic. You have plenty of nations that have collections of talent that don't do shit because international football is just so different than club football. You need to have a mentality. You need to have more fight. You need to have a collective, and this U.S. team just doesn't. And like you said, there's not real difference makers. Nobody is that Clint Dempsey type, fuck you, I'm going to go do something right now, other than maybe Pulisic. And even at that, when he's being placed in the fucking center where the entire block of Panama is, you're fucking up the only person that really is doing that. We can move to the second game with Canada, where you're hoping, hey, you know what? They do have some fight in them. Let's see something out of this game. It's a game against a rival. It's a game against Jesse Marsh, who's certainly made it a bit more of a rivalry just by him coaching there. And Canada looked significantly better on the day. I understand it's maybe not the A1 lineup, but it was not that fucking far off. We lose in this one as well. Canada had plenty of chances to put even more away. The US just awful. 2 shots on net. It just wasn't clicking at all after this. It didn't look intense. Once again, not showing that mentality. I thought at a certain point, if the US come out, murder Canada, it still doesn't prove that much because they need consistency. They need to be able to perform on an actual stage, like a semifinal that's win and go home. To lose furthered that. But we did see Diego Luna as a player that stepped up. And I think he kind of points out a lot of what is missing in the US. It's a player that is just going to be a dog. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants on the field. He's going to try things. He was creative. He would try little tricks, get around players, and actually attack. Whereas in the other games, you see a Musa, a Tim Weah working the system a little bit more. They're passing it back. They're moving it around. They're kind of waiting. Diego Luna's not fucking waiting for the system to work to be a wide open pass on and back through. He's going to dribble a player and make a problem. I know that a lot of these players can do that, but if nobody's going to fucking do it, nobody's going to step up. At this point, is Diego Luna a player you have to start if he's the only one that has a real mentality for a team?
Absolutely. I think 100%. He was the only player that showed much fight in this game outside of maybe Tyler Adams. And he showed quality as well. Great assist, looked good on the ball, was going into 50-50s, was matching intensity. And I think some of that comes back to adversity he's faced. I mean, wasn't selected for the Olympic squad, struggled to get a senior call-up, finally does with Poch, gets praised for having some cojones, and then shows it here, and actually fought for his spot, wanted the spot, took his opportunity, where a lot of these dudes have just been given starting roles, given huge minutes in this team without really fighting for anything. Tim Weah is a great example of that. I mean, fuck, his boneheaded play cost us a knockout feature in the Copa America, and he was just welcomed back into the national team with open arms. And I mean, that's kind of bullshit. And his performances have inspired nothing since he's returned. He's been casual on the ball. He tries to do way too much because he knows that he's a senior player in this team. He gets pickpocketed left and right, which happens, and then it leads to counterattacks. I mean, that's absolute bullshit. Pulisic was like that in this camp as well. He looked awful in both games, and that guy's supposed to be our best player, our Captain America, our talent, our world-class feature player who plays Champions League football, who won a Champions League with Chelsea, who plays for AC Milan, and that's the kind of performance we're getting out of him. That's our captain. That's absolute disgraceful play from him, from most of the players in this squad. Diego Luna is the exception. Maybe he's not as talented as some of these guys. I still think Gio Reyna edges him out, but he makes up with grit and actual play. I mean, how could you leave a guy like that out of the squad? The real only standout performer in that Canada game, in my eyes, I thought some of the changes were okay ideas. I think Cameron Carter-Vickers still doesn't belong anywhere near this fucking squad. He sucks. He was culpable on that second goal. He got caught fucking leaning. Both his feet were planted in the ground. I mean, what kind of defense is that? Where did they teach you that? It's not fucking 101 defending. It's not 102 defending. How do you get away with that in the Scottish Premier League? How do you get away with that playing Champions League football? It's awful. Matt Turner also sucked this game, as most of the players did as well. But credit to Diego Luna.
Yeah, Diego Luna, I guess that the one bright spot from a very dark camp here. We'll conclude kind of our talk with this with where we go from here. But first, I want to talk, Nick, about Gio Reyna, because didn't start the first game, didn't come in. Pochettino's asked about it, says he was waiting to use him and Luna in extra time. Obviously, they don't get there. You come to the second game, He says he's going to make changes. Still no Gio Reyna. Diego Luna ahead of him. Christian Pulisic at the 10. I mean, it's now Borussia Dortmund with multiple managers. Nottingham Forest, back to Borussia Dortmund. Greg Berhalter, Pochettino, and he looked like when he was out there, yes, he created some chances because he is just Gio Reyna. He's extremely talented, but he looks like he's just not happy. He looks like he's lost the love of the game, and maybe that's because you've only had 10 starts in 2 years. But Nick, how worried are you about Gio Reyna and his future with the U.S. men's national team here? Because I think it's becoming more and more apparent if he does not get a move where he starts playing consistently, we may be talking about the what if of what Gio Reyna's career could have been, because it's looking just grimmer and grimmer. It used to be he'd always perform and do crazy things with the U.S. men's national team. He's not even being selected for the U.S. men's national team anymore when he's in for a camp. Where's the panic level on Gio here?
I at this point. The only way to be hired is another lie.
There you go.
Summer goes by and he stays at Dortmund. I think it is
we're back.
absolutely ridiculous. He is I think of the problem. It's just a guy who is perceived to have talent and isn't working as hard as he should. Am I lagging out? What's going on?
You're a little robotic.
You're
You're
good
okay.
Well, fuck Gio Reyna. My robot voice.
Whoa!
Is what I'm trying to say. This man.
Don't be saying
No,
that.
I'm over it. This man is. I mean, he's reminding me of Sargent now, but not with injuries. I can't rely on the guy. I can't trust him to do anything. Even when he does get the cameo, he's doing little tricks here and there, little half chances here and there, but it's not. He's completely lost. He's like a shell. And just, I'm over it. I'm over thinking that this is a man who can make real contributions to this team. What he needs the next thing is a manager who's going to just like love him and get his confidence up. But that does not happen at the national team level. Let me tell you, at the national team level, you are what you are, and it's clear that the managers don't trust him. It's clear it's obvious when you spark a creation. Poch still doesn't go to him even in this game after a shit game against Panama. So there's a lot of accountability by him, and personally, I'm done relying on him. I can't count on him to be a difference maker for this team. I can't count on him to be a fixture. I can't count on him to come on and change a game. I can't count on him for anything. I'm still a big believer in the talent, but I'm not on Gio Reyna for this World Cup. Like, I don't. He's going to make this roster to not anything else unless he gets moving. Which that's not.
All right, Nick, I'm going to cut you off. Cannot count on Gio Reyna. Cannot count on your internet here today. But, I mean, yeah, I think Gio Reyna at this point, you have to see him as an excess. I think, Nick, you're right. And I'm the biggest Gio Reyna believer. I really hope that he turns it around and gets in the right position, right situation. And I have full faith if he does that he can be an absolute star. But you can't rely on that. You have to be realistic about this team. And I think it's about time that we do get a little bit more realistic about this team and about the talent, because there's crazy amounts of talent. But if that talent is not being realized, you can't fucking keep putting them in the lineup or having them be relied on to be that. For Gio Reyna, you cannot go into this World Cup relying on Gio Reyna to be who Gio Reyna can be. You have to see him as an excess. You have to see him as, hey, listen, we don't know what we're going to get from him. If it ends up being amazing, great. But we're not going to bank on Gio Reyna having to be a star for us to be an effective national team. We can't just have Gio Reyna be the one that breaks down every team that we're playing like we did in previous Nations League or anything else like that. I think you have to start finding ways to live without Gio Reyna, and if Gio Reyna works out and that talent can show through and he gets in a good position, then there you go. Mike, it looks like you're rearing to say something about this.
I got two things. I know we want to move off this segment. It might be the difference between a goalkeeper and an outfield player, but what the fuck is the double standard between Matt Turner and not playing in club, and then Gio Reyna and not playing in club. I mean,
Yeah.
Poch has completely different opinions about it, and form plays into both. I get it. Fitness is different for an outfield player, but form as a goalkeeper, when you're not playing, you're not facing shots in game. I mean, that's got to be even more crucial. And he continues to pick him and play him in back-to-back games, even when he's partially to blame on the fucking losing goal against Panama. So I don't understand that. And then going back to Sargent, I know Sargent should have scored against Panama, the one that hit the post. And then he did bury the one that happened to be offside. But I can't help but to feel he still should have got more of a chance in this window.
Absolutely.
Why the fuck is Brian White being subbed in the second game? He fucked up the play. He killed the attack like 5 times in a row. I started watching after we scored the first goal. He comes on. He's standing offside. He's checking to the ball after being in an onside position. He's turning it over through bad passes. The pass he tried to play to Marlon Fossey, oh my God, he missed him by 5 yards and it went straight out of bounds when we're trying to get an equalizer desperately. I mean, that makes no sense. I never need to see him in a camp again. And I mean, why, when we had Josh Sargent on the bench, are we looking at an MLS dude? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like a 29-year-old MLS guy that scores decently well. I just don't see really the real reason. I don't think Josh Sargent played awful in that first game, and it just seemed like Pochettino thought he had a stinker. Don't know if he did. Moving forward, Mike, where does the U.S. team go from here?
I think he was passenger of that game.
Passenger?
Okay, Mr. Roboto.
Arigato.
Mike, where do we go from here? Because it's a year away from, as has been very well noted, the Gold Cup. You're going to be missing at least Weah and McKennie because Juventus. Gio Reyna, who knows? I doubt he's with Dortmund at the Club World Cup. If he is, maybe that's even more concerning. But you don't have the entire full team. There were reports that the U.S. was trying to use maybe a lesser A-team squad. But at this point, you kind of have to use it as a full squad. You have to get some type of momentum going into this. That's the only competitive games you have until the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of Gold Cups we put out, B team, C teams, mostly MLS players or young guys. Scrap that. This has to be everyone who's available as a first team player. They have to be in the squad. They have to treat this as a must win, must perform kind of competition. And you got to cut the bullshit. I mean, if players are showing up to camp, no matter who they are, and they're putting in half-assed performances, they're not locked in, get them out. There's not enough time to play around before the World Cup. If we get embarrassed on home soil in the World Cup, I mean, how much further is it going to set us back? You could talk about, viewership declining, fans showing up to games. The fucking stadiums were nearly empty for both games. And you know what? Rightfully so. If we're going to put in that kind of performance, why the fuck should people show up and pay $300 to sit in a stadium when we're going to put in a shoe-in performance? It's ridiculous. Biggest issue with Poch at the moment is he's doing the same thing Berhalter did. He's treating it like a system. He's trying to put guys into roles that he has clearly defined in his mind that don't necessarily fit their strengths. Adapt, man. It's international football. We need to get the best out of the player pool, and we need to do it quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, there is not a bigger audition for the U.S. in front of American fans than the World Cup coming up. There's one thing about Americans, we like winners. If you win, people will be interested. This team has not done that. So am I shocked the stadium was emptier than a fucking JV soccer game? No.
Dude, we like winners and we like underdogs. And we're acting like bid dogs and we're sucking. So you can't have it both ways.
You can't do neither. You need one or the other. God damn. Mike, let's with all is said about the US team and where they're at right now, let's put it into perspective. Where does the US stack up in world football a year out from the World Cup? I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to put some teams out for you, some nations. You just tell me, are they better? Are they worse? Let's start with what I think are maybe some easy ones. We'll go with a grouping here. England, France, Portugal, Belgium. Is the U.S. better than any of them?
No.
Yeah, that one, if you said the opposite,
We're
I'd be
not close.
a little concerned. I think we get maybe a little bit closer with this grouping. Uruguay, Colombia, Croatia.
No. We're not better than any of those three teams.
Which are we the closest to, you think?
Maybe Uruguay. I mean, Colombia was phenomenal in Copa America. Croatia's an older team, but they play so well. And then Uruguay is still a very good team, but they have a few weak spots. You never know what Darwin Núñez is going to do.
Oh, we did just have 11 weak spots against Panama, so
True.
we can give them a pass on that. Next grouping, Switzerland, who we have a friendly coming up against, so I guess we'll find out. Denmark and Ukraine. Are we better than any of those three teams?
I think we're pretty close to Switzerland and Ukraine. I think Denmark's a cut above us.
Yeah, I would say Denmark is at this point a leap and a bound based off their actual performances. Better. I think Switzerland and Ukraine is where you get a little bit of debate. But once again, we just lost to Panama. So maybe on a good day, we are with them. Moving down, we have Sweden, Serbia, and Egypt. Are we better than any of those three teams?
We're in the mix, but something each of those three teams has that we don't have is a tried and true international goal scorer, a talisman, a dude who's going to give you a performance every fucking day. We don't have that player, and they do. I think we're stronger in certain spots, but right now, I wouldn't feel confident going head-to-head with any of those teams.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough, but I think kind of around that realm, which based on the talent, you would hope be maybe a little bit above. Last grouping before we get into a little CONCACAF grouping, Norway, Chile, Turkey, or Morocco. Are we better than any of those four teams?
I think we're better than Chile currently. I would not say we're better than Morocco. Turkey's pretty even. What was the first one you said?
Norway.
We're better in Norway in a few places, but once again, they have some dudes who are just better than our best players by a large margin. Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard. So could they beat us head to head? For sure.
Yeah, I think Norway is maybe a sneaky underrated team right now in world football with a lot of kind of budding talent coming up.
They don't
there
make
with
tournaments,
mega
but they're
stars as well.
in the hardest,
Yeah.
region to qualify in. I mean, being in UEFA is tough.
Yeah. And then finally, Canada, Mexico, Panama. Are we better than those three teams at this moment?
We should be, but the facts are the facts, and we just finished fourth out of all those teams. Mexico is back as top dog of CONCACAF until we prove otherwise. They had our number last time we played them in a friendly, and they won the competition here. Shout out Raul Jimenez. I said that Jonathan David was the best striker in CONCACAF. Maybe I disrespected Jimenez because he put on a fucking show this tournament. Panama's had our number the last couple of times. Thomas Christensen runs a type ship. And then Canada just beat us as well. So, FIFA rankings say we're better. Maybe our player pool says we're better, but performances are the determining factor, and we are fourth currently.
Yeah. I mean, I think you'd like to say that we'd be at least better than Panama, if anything, but we literally just lost to them and lost in Copa America. So as much as you can say on paper, you don't play the games on paper, unfortunately for the U.S., or maybe we wouldn't have such shit results here. We'd have a little bit more of a positive podcast here today. But we will have a positive podcast. I'm determined because we're getting into the Wonder Grid. We're bringing back Mr. Roboto for this. We need his help. We need Mr. Roboto to help us on the Wonder Grid. So Palmer, if you can bring that up. We have here Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and World Cup goal on the top axis, and on the horizontal axis we have Tottenham Hotspur, Real Sociedad, and Valencia. Mr. Rabata, you've been gone for a while. You've been stewing on some football knowledge. Do you have a person you'd like to guess here right off the rip? Any good polls?
Paulinho. Tottenham Barca.
Well, is that
Paulinho, right?
the
The
obvious?
Brazilian
Pretty sure.
midfielder.
Yeah. The CDM.
Yeah.
All
A
right.
couple other options: Emerson Royale, Clement Longley.
Ooh, Clement Langlais.
Yeah. I think Paulinho would be a good.
I'm down for Paulinho.
I'm good with it too.
All right. Paul. Pina.
I don't remember him playing for Tottenham, but if you guys are confident he did,
Oh, I don't know his full name though. Shit.
Oh, motherfucker. These Brazilians, man.
Oh god.
Paulinho.
2013 to 2019 sounds right.
What? Oh,
and
this
then
one?
he fucked off to China, right?
Oh, is it Paulinho? I think it's Paulinho, right?
How do I spell
It is with
Paulinho?
an A.
A. Put an
Nice.
A at the end.
Okay, well, guess
Well,
what? You guys are dumb.
I
No
think
H?
get rid of the H.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't fucking know.
Jordy?
Nah.
No.
Maybe it is Paulinho.
Okay, but we're not gonna guess which Paulinho.
No, right? Yeah, no, I'm doing that.
All right. Let's maybe go to a
Emerson
different
or
category
Lingard?
here.
Okay.
Real Sociedad, FC Barcelona. Did Griezmann play for Sociedad?
Yeah, that's where he started his career.
Okay.
He's
I think
but that be too
that's
high?
gonna be. I don't
That's
know.
gonna
If
be
people,
very high.
Is it? Are people gonna think that?
Bravo.
Yeah,
Claudio
bro.
Bravo.
Claudio Bravo
Claudio
played for
Bravo.
Sociedad?
There's
Yeah, a lot.
Oscar. Doesn't Oscar Mingueza play there now?
Does
think
he?
he plays at
If you're
Canada.
confident with that, I don't know if that'll be
Oscar
that popular.
Mingueza would be more of a pull, I think. But he's still playing. He is playing there
playing
now.
at
But yeah, Claudio Bravo. Claudio Bravo. If you're confident in that, Nick, I say we. And
I know Bravo played 5 years at Sociedad.
all right, let's select him. Let's get our first one on the board.
9? We'll take a
Yeah,
9.
9.
That's
We
pretty
take
good.
that. We take that. We
Nine?
take that.
All right. All right.
What do you think
Guys,
about
I only
David?
have one Dortmund Valencia.
What do you think of David Villa for Valencia FCB? FC Barcelona.
That's gonna be a popular
It's-
one, isn't it?
It's an old player though, so I wonder if usually the
Yeah.
old players are pretty low.
Actually, I was thinking an Evertonian, Andre Gomes.
Andre
Oh,
Gomes
that's
is a
not
good
bad.
one. And he didn't
I'll
play at
say let's
Barcelona
run it.
that long.
I
like
think Andre Gomes would be a pull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
top
he
one.
is.
Maybe Silva
Yeah.
for the World Cup goal.
Go for it.
4. Nice.
Let's
4.
go. Great pull.
Fantastic.
Great
Nice.
pull. Great pull, Nick.
Maybe Silva for the World Cup goal. David Silva. That was gonna be
David Silva for Sociedad.
No, for Valencia World Cup. Oh wait, yeah,
David
for
Silva,
Valencia.
did you say? Or David Villa?
Yeah,
Which one?
Silva. Didn't Silva
David
play for
No, he was
I thought he played
Sociedad
for-
player.
Sociedad, yeah.
Silva? No, he was on Valencia too for sure.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, you might.
Like
but has he scored in
before
the World
before
Cup?
he moved to Man City.
When did he score in the World Cup?
I would assume. Everyone's going to guess Villa for
Has
World Cup.
Edison Cavani scored in the World Cup? He
He
played for
definitely
Valencia.
has. That might be
I
a
would
good
assume-
option.
Rico Cavani.
All right,
How
let's
do-
put a
how do I
little
spell
He
Cavani
definitely
in.
played for Valencia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume he scored for Uruguay in the World Cup, but I don't
He had
remember a
to have.
specific one.
He's been to enough that he has to have.
You would think so.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right.
I can't pick
Yep.
one out, but I'd assume.
Okay.
Yeah,
25,
25%.
damn,
That's
tough.
okay. We
We'll take
keep
that.
it. We keep it at 25
Uh,
and under. We're okay.
Alright.
All right. You said you had a Dortmund Valencia.
Carlos. Yeah, that's the only I can think of is there.
Oh God, you're gonna have to say it
Paco
again. Get ready.
Alcacer. Paco Alcacer.
Yeah,
Oh,
Where?
that's a good. Yeah,
that's the only I.
Where?
That's the only.
For Valencia,
for
Dortmund.
Dortmund Valencia, bottom middle. Paco
Also-
Paco
Yeah, he was a good player.
Alcacer.
He had
There
that
he
crazy
is.
season for Dortmund.
Yeah, he went wildly, like 22 goals. All right, this one might be how I feel. 'Cause
It's
I
gonna be
can't think
hot.
of. Let's see it though. Let's see it. I don't know if there's that many options. To be fair.
Signed it, Palmer.
Ooh.
82. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
All right, so
That's okay.
let's
That's
how about
okay.
go
Carlos
Tottenham.
Vela?
Tottenham World Cup goal. Harry Kane's the easy option, but who else? Christian
Yeah.
Eriksen,
Oh,
Trippier.
Kieran Trippier.
Trippier.
Because he scored.
Um, has
Belgium center back?
Richarlison scored?
Luka Modric is an option there.
Oh, Modric, I think, is a good option because older player for them.
Yeah.
What's
I
the
don't
name of the Belgium center back? He scored for sure.
Alderweireld?
Alderweireld or Vertonghen.
No.
Vertonghen?
Target.
Damn.
This is
Nick
tough, Zane.
I would feel confident in Luka Modric because I know for a fact that he did it. But Vertonghen would definitely be a better poll.
I feel like Modric might just not be thought of because of it's been so long since he played for Tottenham. But I'm okay
Harry
with
Kane's
Vertonghen
gonna be
as well.
Harry Kane's gonna definitely be the number one.
Yeah, that'll be like
Trippier.
80%.
I know
Yeah,
Trippier
so-
scored. Trippier scored
Alright.
a free kick, right?
Let's
Modric
send
scored
Trippier
also,
then.
though. All right, let's send Trippier.
Top.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think.
Two.
2. Fantastic.
2%.
Good pull. Good pull.
Big pull.
All
All right. Going
I
back
have one
to
more poll.
Tottenham, Barcelona. So we want to try to do Clement Langley or Emerson Royal.
I think
Or
Clement
Paulinho.
Langley would be more of a pull.
All right.
I don't think
Yeah,
we can
LL,
do
Langley,
Paulinho.
yeah.
top one. Yep.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Yep.
39. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Carlos Vela, Real Sociedad.
Carlos Vela for World
Carlos
Cup
Vela.
goal. Real Sociedad. Did he score in the World Cup?
Yeah. 2014 for Mexico.
Okay. Carlos Vela. Carlos and then Vela.
Yep. That's
Yep, there he
him.
is.
Okay.
Let's see. What's the percent? Carlos Vela, World Cup goal.
22.
Sociedad 22. Okay.
All right.
Getting awful close.
All right,
here, boys.
two squares for the rest of our life, boys.
Getting awful
We have
close.
Tottenham.
I
Sociedad.
have one shot in the dark.
Dortmund.
I mean,
I
Sociedad, Dortmund. The obvious one is Isak. That one's probably going to be like 70%.
I think
That's
it's gonna
gonna
be
be
higher
so
than
high.
that.
I think.
Yeah, so I'm
I
saying we need to
think
find somebody
Marino-
else.
You guys need like
I think Marino had a
Sub-tens.
loan at Dortmund after Newcastle.
Mikel Marino?
Yeah. I could be way wrong, but I think I remember seeing that in a FIFA game at some point.
Hmm.
I used to play in Newcastle career mode.
I don't know if that was just maybe a career mode move though. I don't remember Marino there though.
I don't either.
Shot in the dark.
Um,
I don't know who else.
Dortmund, Tottenham. I'm trying to think of
you're at 183 right now.
Perisic.
183. So if we get 2 pulls here, boys, we're We're knocking on heaven's door.
Did Perisic play at Dortmund?
Yeah.
Did he?
Right? Thought he had a stint.
I don't know. Yeah. Any goalies or anything like that?
On the dark.
Center backs. Is there any German center backs for Tottenham anytime recently?
German center backs? No.
Timo Werner never played there. What other German players have graced
Played for Tottenham.
the Tottenham Hotspur?
I
Damn.
don't know. I thought Perisic played for Dortmund.
He might have. I just don't. I don't.
We should just go for it.
How confident
we're
do you
gonna
feel?
Get it either way. We're not breaking 200.
Bro, if we get two answers that are like
It's possible.
9%, we get it.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't think it was the one, boys. I thought it could have been, but I think that Paco one screwed us.
Paco's
Yeah,
big
that Paco
boy.
one did hurt quite a bit. 82%.
Let's go Perisic. I'm pretty sure.
All right, let's see it. Let's see
kinda
it.
sure. I don't know.
Nick did the Kieran poll, so I trust him. I think Perisic.
All right, Perisic. Ivan. Nope.
PE.
PER.
PERSIC.
Top
ISI.
one.
There you go.
Yep,
top.
there it is.
Yep.
The top one.
Oh,
Ooh, God.
He was, and he was high.
All right,
Well,
do we
Nick,
just
you
put
were
an
right.
ESAC and get it over with? We're not beating it.
that man has a
Yeah,
guitar
where we
pick
at,
for a
Palmer?
head, bro.
Isak. ISAK.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's the boy. 100%.
322.
How high was he?
Click that.
6'9".
69.
69.
Wow.
Wow, he's less than even Perisic and Paco Alcacer.
Go peek the options for us. Does it show?
Yeah, let's show summary, and then let's go down.
So there are only
There's
four and
three
there are only
options.
5. Damn.
That's where it gets low. Let's see the
Let's see.
options for
Do we know these players?
Who you want?
Dortmund and Valencia. Yeah, we just want to go up
Start
the whole
there,
middle row.
and then
yeah.
do all those. Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. For you listening, let us know if we really
Michi
missed somebody here.
Batshuayi? Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
Michi Batshuayi, big miss. Nelson
I don't know
Valdez.
Nelson Valdez, but
Don't know who
Michi
he
Batshuayi
is.
would have been a good one. Yeah.
Damn. All right, so Michi Batshuayi, one miss there.
Dude, Michi
Let's go
Batshuayi's
to
played for
the,
fucking every club under the sun. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that should be our safe option no matter what.
He's played for
Let's see.
every club in Turkey.
Sociedad, Borussia Dortmund. What do we have here? Did we miss somebody big?
Marino. Nick
Sergio
called
Gomez. Oh, Januzaj.
Januzaj and
Mikel Marino. Damn.
Marino. And
Nick,
Nick didn't know
we
it.
should have listened.
When did he play at Dortmund? He played 9 games in 2016. I wonder if they played him at striker.
And then Dortmund, Tottenham. I know that there's going to be somebody in here that we're just completely missing.
Kevin Prince.
Boateng. Not really. I thought there'd be somebody bigger that we missed here, but it makes sense why Perisic was such a.
Steven Pienaar is a good one.
A number.
I didn't know he played at Dortmund, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Well, we didn't break 200. We had a chance down to those final two. We need to work on just those final pulls on the ones that only have 3 or 4 options available.
Back to the
But
drawing
let us
board.
know in the comments if you would have made those pulls. If you thought we were being dumb as fuck for some of our selections, for the most part, other than that middle row, we did pretty damn good. Let us know at home if you guys are doing any better on these Wonder Grids or if you're playing along. Until next time, boys, I'll leave it to you for some final thoughts. Mr. Roboto, first to you.
The Gunners.
And that is perfect way for you to have your final thoughts. Mike, final thoughts, and then let's get on out of here.
I hate hating on my boys. I don't like to rip on the U.S. men's national team, but damn, they deserve it this time around. Praying for better days. And shout out us. We didn't break the target score, but 100% grid. Most of these YouTubers out here, most of these podcasts, they're not going based on percentage. They're just trying to fill the square. So our ball knowledge is getting up a little bit. Respect to us.
Hey,
Breaking 200 continues.
always growing.
I'm ready for the return of club football. Enough of this international bullshit. Let's get back to the good stuff. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will see you next week. Subscribe, comment, like, do all the shit you need to do. Play the outro, Palmer.
The Bears!
We need Greg back. Bring back Berhalter Ball.